Hey everyone, welcome to the We Talk Sports podcast. This is episode 32. I'm your host, Corey James. I'm joined by co-host Gerald Mendoza and PJ Dolan. And here at We Talk Sports, we
Welcome.
understand that it's been a while, and we apologize for the delay.
Oh my god.
So, PJ, any random sports thing you want to recap in the interim?
What was our last episode?
Our last
Episode
episode was
31. Idiot.
Well, we definitely did do one, so let's just go over like major sporting events. Fucking Yankees got swept by the Astros, and then built the best starting rotation in baseball and re-signed Judge, and we'll win 2 games against them next year. So let's fucking ride.
Excellent. All that to get swept in the first round. Gerald.
Jeez. Orioles gave me a glimmer of hope, but I didn't really think that we deserved it, and lo and behold, we didn't make the playoffs. I'm not mad about it because we got Adley Rutschman out of this, and that's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this baseball season, though this offseason not giving me a lot of hope. The Commanders go back to Taylor Heineke again, and he's about as inconsistent as you'd expect for someone who's named after a cheap beer. And yeah, World Cup just happened. We'll get to that later, though.
Yeah, in all sports news, we will cover the most recent things that actually matter. But I'd say my recap over the last little bit is rest in peace, Franco Harris.
Yeah.
Penn
R.I.P.
State legend. And as a stater, what a legend.
Yeah.
Franco Harris.
Also played his pro career in Pittsburgh. Immaculate
Absolutely.
reception.
So we're going to go ahead and begin with Major League Baseball. So as of right now, Major League Baseball, the hot stove has been heating up with names such as Justin Verlander and Carlos Correa. Okay, we'll get to you. We'll get to you. Justin Verlander and Carlos Correa being the two most recent heading overs to the Mets. There's a couple other names that have been sent over there. Gerald, are you familiar with the Met situation? And PJ, how do you think they look going into next year?
Gerald, you want to take the reins on that one?
I'm not as familiar so far. I do know that the craziest thing so far that has happened was the Carlos Correa thing, because unless you're living under a rock, you realize he initially took up a 13-year, $350 million contract, I think it was, with the Giants, or $325, somewhere along those lines. Like Giancarlo Stanton in Miami money, if I'm being quite honest. Yeah. So a ridiculous amount of money, especially for someone like Carlos Correa, who, granted, is incredibly good at the sport of baseball. However, I've always been an anti-proponent. I do not really favor these extremely long-term, high-yield or high-paying contracts for the superstars, because baseball's a wear-and-tear sport where inevitably you will either degrade over time or you will get injured multiple times. And there's no telling if that's, if you can guarantee that that's not going to happen, no matter how good you are. I mean, we just saw last season the ridiculousness with who's the guy from the Padres?
Fernando Tatis.
Yeah, who ended up getting hurt multiple times, but that was because he was stupid to go on a motorcycle multiple times and crash and break his wrist, and only show up to spring training and tell them then that he broke his wrist. And
then gets busted for PEDs.
I have a theory about that, but I can't get into it right now.
There's no theory.
But anyway, point is,
you know what? I'm gonna start it right now. I have a Jersey train lined up. You know what? I put this jacket on for the Jersey train, and I'm gonna start it. If Barry Lamar Bonds is not in the Hall of Fame, then there's no way that Tatis Jr. is getting in. Period. This is the only time you'll ever see me repping the Giants as a player hater.
In any case, as much as I agree with you, my point is that these extremely long-term contracts never work out. Almost never. And even if they do work out for the player, they barely ever yield championships, as far as I can tell, at least from what I've seen. And now it's very early in this process of long contracts that we've seen, but I don't think a single one of them has produced enough talent out of one person to bring a team a championship. And it's just I don't see the value in it. Point is, this guy had a contract lined up with the Giants that he accepted 13 years, $350 million. Insane amount of money. I saw the alert on my phone a couple nights ago that said the Giants elect to hold off on announcement press conference because of something that came up during the physical. Pending physical for a contract is always, interesting because rare is the case that someone fails their physical. They have to null the contract. Apparently, the Giants saw something they didn't like. I don't know what it was. I haven't spent enough time researching exactly what it was to figure out why they would decide to hold off or just cancel this contract entirely, but that is exactly what happened. And Carlos Correa, being opportunistic, decided not to wait around to see if he can renegotiate with them. He just took another max contract, now a 12-year, $315 million contract with the Mets. And like you said, the Mets have been picking up a lot of pieces lately. Not only do they have Correa, they have an 8-year contract, $162 million contract with Brandon Nimmo. Brandon Nimmo, yeah. 5 years for Edwin Diaz, $102 million. 2 years for Justin Verlander, $86 million. Right-hander Cody Senga for 5 years, $75 million. Jose Quintana, left-hand pitcher, 2 years, $26 million. Catcher Omar Narvaez for $15 million, 2 years. Another pitcher, Adam Ottavino. Pitcher David Robertson. Looks like a conditional infield contract for Danny Mendick for $1 million.
Looking around at it looks like they're just picking up way too much salary they can handle. I saw a report that says that they're looking at around $480 million on their cap hit.
It's
422.
$480 million plus with the luxury tax they're gonna have to play. They're gonna have to pay the league. They're paying close to half of
$20 million.
Yeah, they're paying basically more than $500 million on payroll next year.
And they're doing that to get washed in the wild card round again because they're the Mets.
In any case, that's a lot of money. Again, I am not a proponent of just picking up as many pieces as possible and putting a ragtag team of superstars together. It'll only get you so far, especially if you don't develop the team around them or put some actual useful, tools around them to be able to facilitate other players, being just sluggers or just pitchers or whatever. I know they're in the National League, but still, I don't know how this is going to work out for them. I don't know what their outlook is going to be. I have a lot of faith in. I think Buck is still there. He's going to be there next year. I'm assuming. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I think he can put together. I think he can put together a really good team, and I think he can work with this team very well. But I can only see them going so far if they don't bolster up some of the, I would call, mid-range talent around them to put out a full team instead of just a bunch of superstars and then a bunch of jabronis out there.
Now, that being said, there was another swap that happened around the league, and I want your opinion on this. The Red Sox and the Dodgers apparently made just a free agency swap without any trade going on, where the Red Sox are going to get Justin Turner for a couple of years, and the Dodgers sign J.D. Martinez. How do you think that works out for either team?
Well, I think that is about you basically traded the other player for the other player. And at this stage in their careers, they're both going to get the same production out of each player. I really don't think it's much of an impact. I mean, the Red Sox aren't going to be good next year. The Dodgers are the Dodgers. Y'all will be fine. But, I mean, the Red Sox aren't going to do well next year.
And then looking just general on a wide scope of things, I would be looking to hear, Gerald, your 2 cents on free agency thus far this year. Just a
Overall,
there's a
yeah.
couple thoughts right here.
Overall, it's been pretty active. I see a lot of guys. I mean, we see this almost every year. A lot of guys are getting more and more money as it goes. And I think the talent is increasing. I don't know if it's increasing as much as the payroll is for what guys are offering in the league. But it's been very active. And I would like to see other teams more active as well. Because it seems to be the major money players, as usual, doing most of the work here. Like you said, the Dodgers, the Mets throwing their hat in. If the Padres had any more money, I'm sure they would be in there. But I think they're trying not to spend as much as the Mets right now.
Look, all of
And
the billionaires, stop being cheap.
and not only that, like I said, I obviously this comes with a bit of frustration because I'm an Orioles fan, and as much as I trust in Mike Elias and the team and what we're producing here, we do still need some extra pieces. We need some actual, good aces in our rotation, and I don't know if we've gotten that. And we need some extra players around certain spots in the roster, and they're just not being filled. And I know that it's not Mike Elias who's not making a decision. It's that he has his hands tied because of the Angelos family, and they just don't spend money. And it's insane because now that we're on the cusp of actually having a good, solid team underneath, we just need some stars to really push them forward with a supporting cast that's underneath them that can really do a lot of work, and they're not spending the money. Winter meetings were almost completely uneventful for them, and so far we have re-signed Michael Givens for 1 year. We have we got James McCann from the Mets for future considerations and cash considerations and a future or player to be named in the future. And I mean that's about it. A free agent, we got Adam Frazier to a 1-year contract. And we got a Rule 5 guy from the minors, Andrew Politi. And Kyle Gibson. That's Gibson about as eventful. I know, and I'm not saying these are bad decisions. I'm just saying for as close as we are as a team to making a reasonable contender or playoff push type of movement, I don't see a lot of splash going on. And maybe that's me being selfish, thinking that we haven't had it for years and it's finally time to start picking up the slack, but still not seeing it. Also, somewhat unrelated, but I still want to remind you guys, starting next year, we do have a series of rule changes coming to the MLB. We are introducing a pitch timer with some rules about how that's going to work. I think we're also doing defensive shift restrictions. Lateral positioning, depth, and no switching sides. Bigger bases. Yeah, those are the three main ones. So, pitch clock, bigger bases, and banning the shift. I know we talked about it before, but again, your thoughts on that, Corey. What do you think that'll do for not just the overall pace of the game, but the feel of the game as well?
I think it would take a lot away from the managers when you think about the only game in sports that is not a sports match is baseball. And baseball is a chess game. Any other game, it's about who's better than who. But baseball is all about mind games. It's all about timing and taking people off their rhythm. I think this takes a lot out of the coach's hands. It's going to make baseball a lot more high scoring, a lot more randomized, which is more fun to watch, but it takes away from the sport itself. Now, I'm sure that if we revisit this podcast in about 2 years, I might say that this is the best thing that's ever happened, just as I was avidly anti-DH. And now I don't necessarily mind it. But I only don't mind it because I would rather not sit there and seethe every time I watch a National League team play a National League team, and both of them have DHs. I love watching pitchers hit. It's the most exciting thing in baseball to me. I think the rule changes are going to barely speed up the pace of play. I don't think it's going to gain any new viewers. Baseball is baseball. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, I think, there's definitely, I know it's going to change pacing and all that, and some of the feel of the game that we're used to. A little bit about the pitch clock, and it says a pitcher must begin his motion before the expiration of the timer. Pitchers have up to 15 seconds between pitches when the bases are empty, and up to 20 seconds when the base between pitches with at least one runner on base. A pitcher may disengage the rubber twice per plate appearance without a penalty, which is where the timer resets when they disengage the rubber. And subsequent disengagements result in a ball unless an out is recorded on a runner. The disengagement count resets if the runner advances. Testing in the minors had no reset until the following plate appearance. And
I think that it's really going to come back to the MLB thinks that the way to attract viewers is with, especially young viewers, they think the way to attract them is with not slower, but faster game times. And I don't think that's the way to get people in. The way to get people in is to put this guy, not me, Barry Lamar Bonds, the best baseball player ever, put him in the hall and let the players juice again. Juicing is fun. Seeing people pitch like Roger Clemens and seeing people hit like Barry Bonds, juicing's fun.
I don't even think that the baseball viewership issue is about like the state of the game. I think it's they kind of skipped an entire generation after the steroid thing of really pushing their superstars and marketing the game pretty much. It was a dark time.
Actually, I would love to follow up on that, because when you think of marketable superstars from Mark McGwire up until Derek Jeter, and Derek Jeter wasn't really even marketed so well, except for that everybody loved him who wasn't a Red Sox fan or an Orioles fan.
I mean, he was super private about his life too. It's not like you're going to see him like hanging out with Drake or whatever. Like he's
exactly. And so
you don't see him anywhere else.
Now you're seeing they're trying to market the wrong guys. In my personal opinion, is you should be trying to market Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout and Mookie Betts. These guys who are just like phenoms at what they do, and they make web gems every time they step on the field, and they mash dingers. And instead, they go after Fernando Tatis, who now confirmed steroid booster. By the way, Barry Bonds never confirmed.
I think not only that, but tagging along or piggybacking off of what PJ said, in terms of how, like you said, the marketing that they're doing is not good. And let's be honest, the NFL has been expert, and I mean absolutely expert in. Let me backtrack that. The NFL has been good at stepping in the void that the MLB left behind when they started losing viewership. They took advantage of a lot less people watching baseball and a lot more people watching football. Now, the nature of the sport, it only happening once a week on Sundays, kind of changes everything, because baseball is played so many games, 162 games a year. So it does make a difference. But also, it is hard to find the right person to market. And now we say this as already baseball fans, but what is someone who isn't a baseball fan gonna try to find in a player that they follow or in a team that they follow, if it's not at least regional? That's hard to do. That's hard to figure out exactly what it is that's gonna draw someone in who's not been a baseball fan before.
I feel like to be a big baseball fan, you have to understand the game, which is where the MLB fails in their marketing.
Yeah,
And why there is so much strategy and planning and like in-depth knowledge that you have to like fully understand what's going on at any given moment during a baseball game. And MLB is just like, oh, look at this cool home run. They're not like, oh, this nasty pitch. Oh, look at this comeback. Like the pitcher was down 3-1 in the count and struck him out. Like they don't do that.
And Gerald, you brought. Sorry, finish if you.
They go, look at this monster home run, and the dude's probably on steroids.
Yeah. Well, Gerald, you brought up an interesting posit in the NFL, so I'm going to take that as a little segue.
I'm going to grab some more Sunny D.
PJ's getting his Sunny D. So, Gerald, I got a question, man. You and me, dual screen it.
All right.
What is happening with our football teams? Because going into this, I really, really thought. I told you, I got a jersey stack.
Another jersey, all right.
I thought that the Indianapolis Colts were Super Bowl bound. And now here we are. And I don't know if we're doing worse than your team. Neither of us have a quarterback. You guys have Taylor Heineken, and now we have Nick Foles. So,
is he in now? Is he the starter now?
Correct. He is confirmed for Sunday starter.
I mean, both Nick Foles and Matt Ryan were Super Bowl quarterbacks. Let's not forget that.
Well, hold on. Neither of them. One of them blew the largest Super Bowl lead in history, and now has blown the longest regular season lead in history. And the other one is Nick Foles. So I'm looking. What's going on? Actually, I like that camera. It's a good camera. We're going to go over. Gerald, what the hell's happened with the football team?
I mean, with the Commanders, okay. It definitely doesn't help that.
Hold on. In honor for PJ, in honor of last week's game, left hand up. Who are we?
The Commanders.
Go ahead, Gerald. As the losing team going into this week, who did not blow the worst lead of all time. I'm going to put this on to you, actually.
We didn't blow the worst lead of all time, and we didn't hold the lead at all, actually, in that game. I think the Giants led the whole game. Yep. This is after a week's rest, after a tie game with the Giants.
They had a month straight of film on us, by the way. Let that be known going in this game.
Yes. I'll let you talk. Don't worry. But
I'll be quiet.
Don't worry. Here's the thing, though. All right. I'm not blaming the refs for anything. So let me get that out of the way, okay? Sure, an outcome would have been different. I think if one of the last two penalties was, I think, called more accurately, but the point is,
you're speaking specifically on when the ref told Terry McLaurin that he was not illegally formationed, and then the same ref called him for an illegal formation.
Hey, bro, that's the same as that's the same.
Let me, okay, because no matter what the position is, my opinions are my opinions on that, and as much as they're my opinions and I hold them, that shouldn't have been the determining factor for the game. It shouldn't have been the determining factor for the game, all right? This team should have played better. They played better 2 weeks ago against the Giants than they did now. And we were
on the 35-yard line, Gerald.
Huh?
How bad is your kicker that you were on the 35 and you
I don't know. I listen, this was a couple of boneheaded coaching decisions, all right, that obviously cost us the game. But I'm not going to that, and also got to remember, before that last drive where we were on the goal line and didn't get in for whatever reason, the previous drive we also got into the red zone and did not score either. So like that's on the team for not getting the job done. That's on them. That's on Taylor Heineke for not making the right throws, not looking for the right targets. That's on the tight ends not doing their jobs. getting useless penalties for holding or whatever it is.
Now I don't want to linger too long on one football game because we've been on hiatus. PJ, I'm going to allow you to get one lick in on him.
All right. Why don't you give me like 3 minutes or 2 minutes?
You get a minute and a half. Timer's on.
All right. So what I was gonna say, that Terry McLaurin thing, it's like when I was taking my driver's test and I pulled up to the red light and asked if I could turn on red, and the driver instructor looks at me and goes, I don't know, man, you're supposed to know that. Y'all are getting mad at the ref about that? All right, go ahead. So now we look at the entire game. Oh, it's Ron Rivera's fault. Oh, it's this person's fault. Oh, it's the ref's fault. Y'all just got outclassed by a team that you had a month of film to watch on. That's all I got to say on that. I'll calm down.
If that didn't even take a minute and a half.
Right.
So moving on to the rest of the NFL, I want to cover some more things that can span a little more time while we're just covering the break. Okay, I'm going to give a couple NFL flashcards to you guys, and I want a one-sentence opinion on how that player has performed or that team has performed regarding your expectations or that situation. Ready? Raiders, Patriots last week.
Shit show.
A comedy and parody of an ending, but still exciting.
Tom Brady, pre-divorce.
Out of his league.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, post-divorce.
Never count out touchdown Tom.
Never counted touchdown Tom. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.
They better beat the Chiefs.
Getting to the Super Bowl.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Fraud.
Still not that team.
Jalen Hurts MVP chances.
Fraud.
Pretty high, but I think he'll get edged out.
Indianapolis Colts average draft pick next year.
What do you mean by that?
Like 1 through 31 or 32. Where do you think the Colts are going to get to pick with how bad our record is going to be?
Between 2 and 5.
4 wins. How many wins
2
do
and
y'all
5.
have?
I'll take it. Okay.
Second to fifth pick overall.
How many NFC East teams are making it to the playoffs?
3.
Which one isn't?
Commanders.
My mind says Commanders. My heart says the Giants are going to fall.
All right, Super Bowl matchup.
We play the Colts in 2 weeks, bro. Come on, man.
Hold on. We're a wild card. Not a wild card playoff team, but we're a trap game.
Hey, once you have nothing left to win, there's nothing to lose.
Yeah, but we got something to win.
Yeah. So
how well has that worked out for you in the past?
If you have something to win, you have everything to lose.
Joe, you remember in 2016 when we already locked up our playoff spot and the last game of the season was in DC and y'all were fighting for a wild card. If you won, you were in, and we smoked y'all and we were playing for nothing.
Okay, but that was the 2016 Washington football franchise, okay?
It's basically the same damn team. Let's be honest.
Okay.
No. You can't put a team coached by Jay Gruden on the same level as whatever we have now. As bad and mediocre as it is, Jay Gruden is infinitely worse, and you know it.
Ron Rivera's
the last one that I want to point to you guys for, as of today, I want to make it a checking the temperature here. Gerald, Super Bowl matchup.
Do you want me to pick a winner too?
You can.
Bills fall to the Vikings.
PJ.
All right, so I'm going to run this like the Jersey thing, where I got my heart and I got my brain. So my heart says Giants over Chiefs. My brain says I do like the Bills Vikings Super Bowl matchup. I don't know how faithful I am in the Vikings making it that far.
Wait, hold on.
I would say Bills over Vikings if it's a Bills Vikings Super Bowl. That would be a good Super
Okay.
Bowl.
Oh wait, hold on. Here's my. Can I give a real quick blurb on why I think Kirk Cousins and the Vikings can beat the Bills in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
It's real simple. The game starts at 6 p.m. Eastern,
Ah, shit.
and you all know.
The Vikings just got that like team of destiny field to them this
Kirk
year.
Cousins Monday Night Football mentality.
The Vikings just got that team of destiny field to them this year. They had that.
Also, don't forget.
Wait. Hold on. Sorry. I think you're backwards. Kirk Cousins is notoriously bad in primetime games.
I get that, but primetime starts at 8. This game starts off local time 4 p.m. in Arizona.
You better hope they put up 40 points before the second half.
Well, 4 p.m. for him is not primetime.
That's what I'm saying. It's not primetime, which means he's gonna do better.
Yeah, but it's Josh Allen. I have two.
Go ahead.
It's the Buffalo Bills winning the AFC. Easy, straight up. Not even
Okay.
a fucking dot. The other one is I've got half a mind, well, probably a 15% of a mind to go with somebody who I haven't gone with before. And it's Bills' third time against Dallas. Bills take this one. Otherwise, I'm going third year in a row. Bucks, Bills, Tom Brady.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
I feel like
Bills.
this is what
You know what? Argue with your mother. Argue with your mother.
No, I'm going on my own separate tangent. This is what I don't like about predictions and talk shows, like especially. Everybody's like, "Oh, the Cowboys look good this year. Oh, the Eagles look good this year. Oh, these teams look good this year." They're still the fucking Cowboys. They're gonna find a way to blow it. Y'all don't.
I saw
It's
one
been
power
30 years of
ranking.
them blowing it.
I saw a power ranking that was showing different teams and how good they were, and in one column or in one row, it said, "We know what's going to happen," and it was Dallas and Tampa. And I would assume it were for different reasons. Is we know that Dallas is going to lose immediately, and then we also know that it's Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady, in my professional opinion, Tom Brady gets this many, and then rides off into the sunset. Sorry, he already has 7. Or does he have 6? Then he gets this many and rides off into the sunset, retires a Buccaneer, and goes into.
He's got to replace the one that Giselle took from him, bro.
Listen.
If I had to do it.
I just don't have. It's not him. It is not Tom Brady. I have any doubts in if he gets into the playoffs. It's the fact that even last year, he lost to the Rams, who are not the same Rams as they were a year before, but they were already on shaky ground. And I don't think the team itself has gotten any better, and he's going to run out of gas at a certain point, especially in the playoffs.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, I can see him winning. I can see him winning one game in the playoffs, but nothing more.
You're missing something. Tom Brady lost about 120 pounds a couple weeks ago.
Great for him. Good job on The Biggest Loser, but like
Tom
there's
Brady
only
got divorced.
He's
got that dog in him now.
Listen, there's only so much he can do with a mediocre team around him.
Mediocre
There's
team.
only so.
Hey, don't slander Chris Godwin.
I still feel like we're sleeping on the Bengals in this whole conversation.
I don't.
Well,
Probably, and I'm going to be honest with you. Probably the Bengals are the best team in the AFC East right now. Right, East or North?
North.
No, whatever it is.
The Ravens are going to do exactly what they did last year, which is lose out.
Crash out of the playoffs. Yes.
All right. Last thoughts on the NFL before we move on to our next small segment.
Joe, I'll let you go first.
I'll let PJ know that if the Giants make it into the playoffs, personally, I will root for them. Because based on the pattern that they've had being in the playoffs, the last time they were in the playoffs was a wild card game. They lost to Green Bay in 2016. But before then was 2011, which PJ remembers fondly. The year before that was 2008, where they lost the division round versus Philly. And then the year before that, 2007, another fond year for PJ. 2008, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030, 2031, 2032, 2033, 2034, 2035, 2036, 2037, 2038, 2039, 2040, 2041, 2042, 2043, 2044, 2045, 2046, 2047, 2048, 2049, 2050, 2051, 2052, 2053, 2054, 2055, 2056, 2057, 2058, 2059, 2060, 2061, 2062, 2063, 2064, 2065, 2066, 2067, 2068, 2069, 2070, 2071, 2072, 2073, 2074, 2075, 2076, 2077, 2078, 2079, 2080, 2081, 2082, 2083, 2084, 2085, 2086, 2087, 2088, 2089, 2090, 2091, 2092, 2093, 2094, 2095, Mr. Dolan.
Yep.
So it looks like this is their year. If they were to make the playoffs, they could make it. They
If
could make a very good run.
the Super Bowl, I will get number 8 and Jones tattooed on my back.
If who?
No. Don't say that. Don't say
If
that.
you said what now? No, say it again.
Wait,
Giants
PJ,
win
I'm
the
pretty
Super
sure
Bowl.
you already owe us 100 of something.
I don't owe y'all a tattoo yet.
No.
You do owe some shots on camera.
Well, I mean, shit, I got a bottle right now. Let's go.
You took about half of them during election night,
Yep.
if I remember correctly.
That is correct. For those of you unfamiliar, check out the We Talk Politics YouTube page, and you will figure out it's a very, very quick in. BJ drops out almost immediately.
I literally look. I owed y'all a lot. I did a lot, and then I was sleepy.
That is fair. I hope, PJ. I hope you do understand. We stayed on that stream for 10 hours. I remember we stayed up until
a 9 hour.
no. It was we made it to the 10-hour mark, and then we're like, all right, time to go to sleep, or time to get ready for work or whatever.
Now, PJ, I want your thoughts on the NFL.
My thoughts on NFL.
Final thoughts. 30 seconds on the clock.
All right, I'm gonna be honest. The Giants, I'm starting to get on the hype train. I still don't trust it. I got trust issues with that team, but you know what? Fuck it. We're here. This is the best they've been playing in years. See how it see what happens.
You got trust issues with every team.
Dallas is fraud. Philly's going to lose in the divisional round. They're fraudulent too. The Vikings, I don't know, kind of team of destiny vibes from them. The Bills, man, I'm just scared. I want the Bills to win a Super Bowl so bad. One is always against us, and two, they still got to get through Kansas City, which they haven't done yet.
That's going to take us out of the NFL, and we're going to take half a minute to talk about the NBA. Wizards suck. We started good, now we're bad. Gerald.
Kings are my pick to win the Western Conference.
PJ.
Knicks just lost last night, but that was the end of an 8-game winning streak. They're currently the 5 or 6 seed. So you know what? Maybe we got a little Julius Randle magic back in us. Let's see what happens.
All right. Now, sorry for any NBA fans, but come on, seriously. It's December. Why do you care about basketball? There's hockey on. Speaking of hockey, Alex Ovechkin has 800. We're looking for 801 tonight. Starts in about 8 minutes. So, boys, ladies, and gentlemen, and everybody in between, get ready for goal 801 to tie Gordie Howe. I'm sure that none of you guys give a shit about hockey, so I'm going to skip that segment.
No, I got something.
No. I know PJ's got an opinion real quick.
I have an opinion directly against you. Is Jesper Bratt is the best hockey player in the NHL.
Okay, well, my opinion is Frank Petrano is a damn bastard. I put a parlay last week, $2 to win $4,000. I took the unders on every single NHL game that night, and they all hit, right, except for one, and it was the damn Ducks and Frank Petrano. It hurts. It's betrayal former Ranger. So they scored an empty net goal at the end of the game to go up by 2 goals. 30 seconds left. So I'm like, I'm golden. It's gonna skate it out. What does Frank Petrano do to hit the over? 30 seconds left, already up by 2. Game not even in question. Slaps that shit right into the net. Frank Petrano, you're my arch nemesis.
You've got nobody to blame but yourself for betting on anything Ducks related. So we're going to go ahead.
I was about to say, I'm like,
before we hit our ultimate finisher, we're going to go ahead and turn it over to college football. Now, I am a glad old happy boy because my alma mater is going up against Utah in the Rose Bowl. Now, anybody else isn't, they don't have any bowl games.
Okay. Oh wait, hold on. You're playing. You guys are playing. The Nittany Lions are playing the Utes.
Yeah, we're going up against our least favorite mascot, the Utah Utes. Their mascot is people from Utah.
No,
barely scraping over the Illini.
yeah, I was just about to say, I don't know if you or Illini is worse.
Well, we're playing in the Rose Bowl. And tune in January 2nd and watch an absolute thumping happen. Because
Who you got winning the chip?
let's see, it's Georgia. It's Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and USC, isn't it?
TCU.
TCU, yeah. It's the Got Cumble.
Yep.
Georgia, Ohio, TCU, Michigan. For the logos, GOTCUM, Got Cum. It's the Got Cumble.
Georgia's winning the chip. TCU.
TCU.
I was about to say, fuck it, go for TCU at this point because I think they don't care.
Well, here's the thing: is Gerald's a dog-faced pony soldier, and he's going to root for Ohio State because Gerald has never Gerald's never played a sport. Sorry, Gerald. I know you've played sports, but get out of here if you support Ohio State.
He tried harder in them high school baseball workouts than I did, boy. Let me tell you.
Well,
we both still got cut, and you still got signed up by your mom for like a league or something, and then you broke your elbow at like a camp, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Ohio State, no chance.
Broke my elbow.
I'll be honest, yeah, probably not. Did we deserve to get in? I guess, but that's only because USC doesn't know how to win a game.
Who is we? Who is this we?
Are you an Ohio State alumni, Gerald? Is there something you got to share with the class?
Who is this we? That's like me saying, oh yeah, we the Maple Leafs. Me, the Toronto Maple Leafs, just scored a goal.
Anyway, vernacular aside, Ohio State's not going to win. I don't believe they will. They have to play against Georgia, who is a much stronger.
Michigan sure as shit isn't going to win.
Yeah, and that will be the only thing that really brings me a lot of joy during this playoff. And at that point, I'll go for the underdog every single time. So I'm going for TCU, but I fully expect Georgia to win again.
I'm on the exact same page. I think it's going to come down to Michigan, Georgia, and that's what it's going to be.
Where is the championship game this year?
Should be in Dallas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it Dallas or did they finally move it back to LA?
Where would it be in LA?
At SoFi.
Well, give it a Google, Gerald. You're our internet wizard.
Yeah.
Pew, pew, pew.
Also, I want your opinions on what you guys think of this new 12-team expanded playoff that's going to start in 2024.
Love it. Penn State would be in the playoffs right now.
Not only that, I think they would be hosting a playoff game.
Yes.
Can you imagine playoff college football at home stadiums?
Well, playoff college football at Beaver Stadium would essentially be 107,000 Penn State fans, and any person who tried to buy tickets would get bought out in the first 15 seconds. So I'm all in favor. I would go to the tailgate and just have a sober, good hangout with my friends.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Well, of course. I would just have fun. But that game I'm sure it would be incredible.
No, it is at SoFi. I knew. Yeah, it is at SoFi this year. Because I remember it was supposed to be at SoFi like 3 years ago, but they had to delay the construction because. By the way, you guys know how much SoFi cost to build, right?
Wasn't it like $60 million? Or no, wasn't it like $2 billion?
$5 billion.
God damn.
GI.
More than the team.
That's more than we're sending to the Ukraine.
Yeah, I know.
And we'll talk about that on next episode of the We Talk Politics podcast.
Yes, we will, but we'll save it for then. Anyway, no, but this 12-team playoff, I'm trying to find what would be the who would be in right now.
Well, look up the current.
I am looking.
And there's currently a cat sitting up on a chair in the background.
Is that the Fat Boy?
That is Fat Boy. That is actually the podcast mascot. He's actually gotten in the shot.
All right. Let me see here.
Well, we gotta make a cartoon version of him, like a sports mascot version of Fat Boy.
Well, we have Have to have you dress up as the cartoon version of Fat Boy. Well, either way, sorry, you were looking at the field of it, but if you want to list them off, then we could move on to our next topic as soon as you're finished with that.
All right, so here's what it would look like. Since it's 12 teams, there's 4 teams that get a first round bye.
Right.
I'm not sure how accurate this is.
The top 4 would get a first round bye.
Yeah. Top 4 would get a first round bye. The other ones would get higher ranked, gets home team. Then the next, the semifinal basically would be at some of the bowl games.
Yep.
Or, I think they said that there was potentially an option to have all of them at different bowl games.
Just read off the matchups.
Let me see here. Okay. So, first round bye would obviously be Georgia, Michigan, TCU, Ohio State. They'd have... Geez, what would be the... Hold on. 1, 2...
It's 5 versus 12, 6 versus 11.
Yeah, okay, so it'd be Alabama...
Make sure you're looking at not the AP poll, but the CFP.
Yeah, I'm looking at CFP.
Okay.
CFP poll would have Alabama number 5 hosting number 12 Washington. Number 6 Tennessee hosting number 11 Penn State.
Penn State win by a landslide.
Number 7 Clemson hosting number 10 USC.
Y'all want to
USC
talk
upset.
about a joke job? Talk about
USC
Tennessee.
upset.
God damn.
And then number 8 Utah hosting number 9 Kansas State.
Utah beasting on Kansas State. K-State does not belong in that conversation. Fake football school. So, moving on to our next point of sports talk. We're going to go into Gerald's domain. And now, Gerald, for a minute, I really believed. Give me a second.
Another jersey. All right.
I believe in the Waldos.
I done found Waldo. And he's
I got the Pulisic. The Waldo.
Duh, Waldo. Hey,
we went one defeated.
Hey, that's got to count for something. But also, regionally, in our Confederation of North American Soccer, we are the ones that went the farthest and played the best. So that counts for something, but not much. I was hopeful, but I didn't necessarily think that the U.S. was going to make it all too far. I would have liked to see them get past that second round, but, obviously not playing defense doesn't help you get there. In terms of how
go
ahead.
After you give your USA, I want you to just give a broad rundown, like not too broad, but keep it like a simplistic, all the way across the board rundown of the 2022 World Cup in Qatar.
Qatar, I barely know her.
Wow, Gerald. Golly. I didn't know you were like that.
Anyway. Okay. Overall, entertaining tournament. A lot of good stuff going on. Not as much boring going on. There was almost always something to go for. There was a ton of games at some pretty interesting hours. Most group stage games started at 5 a.m. So it had 5 a.m., 8 a.m., 11 a.m., and 2 p.m. kickoff for I think about 7 days in a row of just straight up soccer all morning. A lot of surprises. Not least of which Belgium, the second-ranked team in the world at the time, at the beginning of the tournament, crashing out in the group stage, not advancing to the next round. Morocco, making it all the way to the semifinal, where they lost against France, first African team to ever make it to the semifinal of a World Cup. Finished in 4th place overall, not a bad job from them, played very well. Spain, Germany, and I think Portugal all losing to no, Germany not making out of the group stage for the second World Cup in a row is surprising. They're called Die Mannschaft, the human machine. But they can't seem to get it to work anymore, so they need to rethink their football philosophy or soccer philosophy. Spain crashing out in penalties against a Morocco side that they probably should have beaten but didn't know how to play against. Portugal losing to Morocco in the quarterfinals, causing Cristiano Ronaldo to crash out of his final World Cup. Saudi Arabia beating Argentina on game 1 and day 2 of the tournament was insane. I got up early to watch that match. Argentina had 3 goals disallowed for offside and ended up losing 2-1. So that was kind of a bite for them. But they ended up picking up momentum as the tournament went by. Incredibly happy that the Mexican national soccer team did not making out of the group stage, and
of course, yep. We knew it was coming, PJ.
That's all I'm going to say about that, is that they did not perform well, but then again, almost nobody in the region did. Costa Rica lost their first game 7-0 against Spain.
Yeah. Spain
and
handling all over them.
Yeah, and overall, again, just really entertaining tournament. A lot of the quarterfinal, semifinal games, and even the final all went into extra time and even all the way to penalties, which is where the final game was decided between France and Argentina. Mbappe versus Messi, marketers' dreams and all that and everything.
Wait. You said Mbappe versus Messi, right?
Yes.
Well, I guess for me, it didn't really matter who won.
Since they both play for PSG. Who, by the way, Messi just signed another year extension for them.
Je suis Paris.
Fair enough. Still feel like they could do better with their jerseys. That's fine. In any case, though, the final was one of the most entertaining games of soccer I've ever seen in my life. No joke.
I saw a TikTok that was like, if that's the first game of soccer you've sat down and watched front to end,
you're going to be very disappointed.
You're not going to want to watch.
You're going to hate soccer for the rest of your life.
The best way I could put it is like, it's like if Super Bowl 51 was the first NFL game you ever sat down and watched front to back.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
You're not going to find a game that's more entertaining.
I mean, that Colts game from last weekend.
Yeah, true.
You know, Gerald, I've been trying to watch my language, but
why?
You're making it to the same place that PJ and I are.
Highly doubt that.
Okay.
I've got a fail-safe, but we'll see how well that works when it actually comes to.
John Lennon had a fail-safe too. That's all I'm saying.
I'm Catholic. All I gotta do is ask for forgiveness. I'm good.
All you gotta do is pay money, right?
I don't even have to pay money. I just gotta say, "Damn, I'm kind of sorry about that."
You gotta say, "Damn, my B." Well, it's a good thing this isn't a religion podcast.
My fault, OG.
Okay, now we're going to introduce a new segment that none of these guys have any clue about, and we're going to call one of them the PJ's Pointers, where PJ, you get about 3 to 5 minutes to talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about in sports real quick.
Oh, shit. This is a distinguished honor.
All right, take PJ's Pointers. Put them on the big screen.
All right. Well, first I want to say I have my own segment that I want to bring on, which is how can we improve the podcast? If you can, I'm going to ask either one of y'all something you think we could introduce to the show to make it better. Obviously, it goes out to the audience too. All 5 of our viewers, love y'all. Let me know. Let us know how we can improve it. So, let's talk about the Yankees. All right, Yankees. Got swept by Houston. Can't say I didn't see it coming, but I love the move. And I said during the whole season, I said, if we re-sign Judge, the way we're getting him back, we got to make him captain. He's got to be captain of the Yankees if he re-signs with us for the rest of his career. Because he's already 31, 32, signed a 9-year contract. Love Judge as the captain of the Yankees. Couldn't ask for any better captain. Maybe Anthony Rizzo, but that's just because of my own personal bromance with Anthony Rizzo. Let's talk about the Mets. The Mets can spend however much money they want. Their fans are still going to cry about the Yankees buying championships, but now that they're doing it, it's cool. And honestly, let's put that out to the whole MLB. Like I said, you all get mad that the Yankees buy championships, but guess what? All your owners are billionaires, make the same amount of money. They just act broke. So sorry about that. Ours actually want to win baseball games. So the Mets are still going to lose in wild card or divisional round at best because they're the Mets. You can spend however much money you want. You're still going to be the Mets at the end of the day. I don't care. Astros are going to be right there. Justin Verlander, absolutely hate the man. I've hated Justin Verlander ever since he's been in the league. So he can be in Houston. He can be on the Mets. He can be on the Yankees. I don't care. I'm not clapping for him when he gets on the mound. So moving on from baseball, let's go basketball. Jalen Brunson, as a Knicks fan, like I said, I got a lot of trust issues with my teams. Jalen Brunson signing, I was a little nervous about. Kind of spelled classic Knicks monster contract turns into disaster for me. He's doing really well. We would not be the team that we are right now without him. Julius Randle seems to be back to 2020 form, 2020-21 form. RJ, I'd like to see him step it up a little bit, but you know what? Can't complain, really. Quentin Grimes got that dog in him. Quentin Grimes, the next Klay Thompson. Heard it here first. Then we go to the Giants, baby. I came into this season, no expectations for the Giants. And, I mean, look, there's so many questions around Daniel Jones that all of the Giants fans have had. I myself have criticized him for multiple times. If you're a viewer of the show, you've heard me go off on Daniel Jones a few times. He's answered all those questions, and he's answered them quite well. He's cut down on the turnovers. He showed up in big moments. And he's been better at reading defenses. He's been better at deciding, when to take the hit, when to run. He still has a fumbling problem. I don't know if that's something that he'll ever get out of. Luckily, we've recovered it quite a few of those fumbles, which reflects in his turnover numbers. I'm still worried about that. I'm not saying I want to go out and sign him to a monster contract because he and Saquon are both free agents this year. I would love to re-sign Saquon. Whatever money he wants, he's having the best season he's had since his rookie year. He's also played the entire season, so knock on wood. Giants are a very pleasant surprise. And I mean, about the Knicks. Yeah, I mean, you guys all watch the show. Anytime I talk about the Knicks, I'm super, unrealistic and, get up on my soapbox and just spew bullshit out of my mouth. But I'm going to be humble about the Giants this time, and I'm going to be honest. I don't think I'd be happy with a playoff win this year. I think that might be asking for a little too much. I don't think we will win a playoff game. But if we do, I'm honestly, like Gerald brought up, man, I'm getting with all the comeback wins and just close wins and the rough stretch in the middle to late season, but sort of picking it up at the end. Reminds me a lot of that 2011 team, man. So, you know what? I'm in for the ride with the Giants. Hopefully, we're back on this pod once the Super Bowl, February. Hopefully, we're back on this pod mid-February, and I'm celebrating a chip. But you know what? We'll see what happens. And the World Cup, like I said, if the World Cup final was the first game of soccer you actually watched in its entirety, then have fun not watching soccer again until 2026. We'll kick it off to Gerald now.
All right. Hold on. Let me switch myself over here. Okay. What'd you say, about 3 minutes, Corey?
Yeah, however long you need to take.
Yeah, it won't be too long. My stuff's a little more niche. Obviously, I'm going to talk about, I was just coming off of the World Cup. Obviously, Messi winning this championship.
Messi. Messi, 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 Messi.
Literally willing his team, literally scoring as many goals as he did and being the leader that they needed to get them through to actually becoming world champions and getting that final piece of hardware that many people have been holding over his head about not winning anything major with Argentina for years, even though he was one of the best club players of all time. Really solidifies his status as one of the greatest soccer players of all time, if it was ever even in question. He got it done with his country. He got it done with his clubs. He's still getting it done. He's still playing at a high level. Just insane what he is able to do. And congratulations to him and Argentina for winning the World Cup very recently. The upcoming soccer nexus is going to be North America and mainly the United States. We have 3 and potentially 4 major soccer tournaments coming to the U.S. 3 of them are already guaranteed. The first one coming next year, which we hold every 2 years, the biannual CONCACAF Gold Cup, the regional tournament for North America. Always hosted in the U.S., so always a chance to go see some games there. Not high-level performance from some of the teams that participate, but still a lot of fun. I still need to go to a soccer game with you guys, by the way. Remind me that we got to arrange that at a certain point. Also, so that's 2023 and 2025. Both of those are going to be in the U.S. Potentially, the U.S. is in talks to host the South American competition, or traditionally South American competition, the Copa America, in the U.S. in 2024, which would also be a boost for them because they don't have to go through World Cup qualifying to keep their levels up in high competition. And then 2026, the World Cup is coming to this country. In the last video, I actually reviewed it. We talked about the stadiums that are going to be hosting in the cities, DC and Baltimore not being one of them for a number of different reasons that we think is reasonable. But Philly, New York, well, really New Jersey, Foxborough, Toronto, Miami, Atlanta, Houston, Dallas, Kansas City, LA, San Francisco, and Seattle. Plenty of opportunities to go see games there. Incredible soccer atmosphere within the next 3.5 years. We got get ready for that. We're definitely going to games, or at the very least, I'm going to games to that World Cup. I encourage you, if you can, buy some tickets in advance. Get them while you can. And lastly, with my last little bit of time, I want to talk about right before the beginning of the NFL season, we talked about the shakeup in broadcasters because a lot of people moved around. Troy Aikman and Joe Buck moved to Monday Night Football on ESPN. Al Michaels teamed up with Kirk Herbstreit in Thursday Night Football for Amazon Prime, who hold the exclusive rights right now. And then NBC has Chris Collinsworth with Mike Tirico, and I don't know who the main guys on
Stallion, Mike Tirico.
Yeah, Italian Stallion.
And then the people who's the main guys on, because the main guys on CBS isn't it Tony Romo and Kevin Harlan?
No.
Or no?
No, Kevin Harlan's not one of the main guys. I wish he was. Kevin Harlan is personally my favorite broadcaster in all of sports. Any basketball game,
Oh yeah.
football game. There's been a few baseball games. I love Kevin Harlan. Man. Can't get enough of him.
Well, anyway, point is, I think the biggest disappointment is Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit. I don't know what it is, but Al Michaels seems so turned off on all of these games that he does for Amazon Prime that
nobody's watching. I mean, the fact that you block it's not like Thursday Night Football is a prize to begin with, and then you add the extra block of it being Amazon exclusive. I couldn't tell you the last Thursday night game that I was like actually excited to sit down and watch.
I will say Thursday night has been an interesting thing, but it still holds true that it seems like Thursday Night Football it's just a bit too much football. It's a bit too early, and then the teams that don't get a chance to rest and all that, it seems like a bit of more of a headache than anything else. And also, this is actually my final thought. We all saw that hit on Tua, that one Thursday night game, which was insane. And I thought he was out of the league. I thought he was out for the year, because that was an insane looking hit on his head. And the responses and the way that his hands cramped up basically when he was in that position, lying on the floor. They had to transport him with his helmet on and a face mask off directly to a hospital, a neuro center. Yeah, that was insane. And to see that the NFL was very apathetic towards it surprises me, considering how much they like to protect their image. Thankfully, Tua is doing fine. But that could have been a lot worse and could have been some major or even permanent damage to Tua's physical health and neurological health that I don't know what would be the solution to fix it, but to have such a lukewarm response from the league at that moment was definitely not ideal.
There's definitely going to be damage. I don't know. It's going to be more long term, but
yeah,
definitely going to be feeling that one in a couple of years.
Also, sorry, Corey, I lied. I have one more thing I need to show you. This is a video that got sent to me on draft night a number of years ago. NFL draft night.
Make sure we don't get
No, this is a personal video. This is not belonging to anybody. This is recorded on someone's phone at PJ's house when they drafted Daniel Jones. So let me see if I can actually pull this up. Give me just a second.
Bringing this up, man.
Oh no.
The evolution.
What the fuck? Oh my god! You fucking pieces of shit!
The Giants drafted a terrible guy. They drafted a quarterback that's not very good.
Look,
I know a Frock laugh, and I know a John voice when I hear it.
I got something I got to answer a lot for that. It only took 4 years for Daniel Jones to end up being semi-nice, and at least he's not taking midnight strolls on Floridian highways.
Oh, come on.
Damn.
Come on.
Damn.
We're going to have to cut that. We're going to have to cut that in post.
Why? We haven't cut the Mexican stuff from earlier episodes.
Oh, that's all you do. I own that.
Anyway, Corey's comments.
We had the Mendoza minute. Now it's Corey's corner. So, look, the Colts aren't the team that we once were. Coming into this season, we looked to be Super Bowl contenders. But now we've got a guy named we had a guy named Matt Ryan starting, who not only blew the biggest Super Bowl lead in history, but also now has blown the biggest regular season football lead in NFL history. Now our starting quarterback is Nick Foles. First of all, dog, but I don't think that he's going to make it. So for the rest of the segment, as I'm wearing my Colts jersey, the Indianapolis Colts are currently under construction. So when I look at my teams across the league, the Dodgers, they're not doing too hot. We just lost Justin Turner. We picked up JD Martinez. I mean, I'll take it. Like, it's a 1-for-1. But we're still going to beat the Yankees in the World Series. I'm going to move over to another sport and say the United States did a pretty goddamn good job in the World Cup. I like repping my boys, and they did. We didn't lose to England. So, that's the first time England hasn't lost to the United States. I can remember their biggest loss being the Revolutionary War. So we've still got that one over on you. Never mind. They don't have a queen, so I can't really insult them too much anymore. Other than saying that you don't have a queen. But looking at it all in grandeur, Ovi's going to get 801 tonight. The Washington Wizards suck. Penn State's going to win the championship. Oh, and why isn't Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame? I mean, I can give you 783 reasons why Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. Well, around that. But put him in the Hall. That's the best guy out there. And also, throughout all of this entire podcast, throughout all this, Gerald, you're a football team Commanders fan. PJ is a Giants fan. You're an O's fan. I'm an O's fan. PJ, for some reason, chose the worst AL East team.
Hey, I got a soft spot for the O's in my heart, bro. I don't care that there are
That's
division
what I'm saying.
rivals.
But no matter what you are, no matter what you have been, you've been fooled this entire podcast. Because PJ, while you're doing this podcast standing, I haven't been doing this podcast standing. I've been doing this podcast on skates.
Why?
Shit.
Hold on.
Why?
Now that is a plot twist.
Just because they didn't think I could.
We
no
never-
one ever doubted that you could.
Got the skate
I
shop.
wouldn't have doubted it, but like, okay. Anyway, impressive nonetheless.
It's
I hope
good
your
luck
ankles
for
recover
O's.
I hope your ankles recover by tomorrow, though.
Don't worry. In my beer league last Sunday, I notched a goal and 2 assists. Got into a fight. Did not necessarily win.
Why don't you invite us to these things? We could do commentary.
Well,
Hey, look, one of the people I work with is starting a flag football team in the spring and asked if I was to join.
take us up on the box, Gerald.
Man,
Oh, final thoughts, by the way. Also, I have sat here for years and years and said some things about soccer. First of all, it is called soccer. But Gerald, I'm ready to admit it. Messi is better than Ronaldo.
I'm glad you finally come to the light.
But neither of them are as good as Christian Pulisic.
I'll agree to that.
No, I'm mistaken. Maradona the GOAT. And on that, if we don't have anything else, I'm going to give very, very, very final last thoughts. PJ, final last thoughts.
Final last thoughts. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this into what I was talking about during my little TED talk I went on, which was how to improve the podcast. I have two options here. One, UFC. We gotta bring UFC into this. Two, sports betting is live in Maryland. We each got to build a parlay each episode, send it out to the people.
Well, for it, it's a little past 7, so it's a little late to drop one. But in any case, if people are interested in that, then yes. I mean, we can just put a little portion in there, sprinkle it in, or players to look out for during the week. All right. Gerald, final remarks.
A lot of sports coming up, especially the NFL postseason. Should be interesting to see how everything shakes out. Excited to see how everything shakes out. Hopefully the Commanders can get in there. My gut's telling me they don't, but we'll see. If the Giants make it, I'll root for them all the way, but I really do hope the Bills finally get back to the Super Bowl, but I still think they would lose in the Super Bowl, depending on who they're playing. And, yeah, we just gotta keep this thing rolling, my guys. That's the main thing.
That's pretty much.
Well, with that, I mean, if you're a new viewer to here, make sure that you go ahead and check out our older ones. There's some dated references to sports, but it's fun to check us out. And some of them are timeless. We just do reviews on things.
We gotta do the stadium episode, man.
Correct. The stadium and the jersey episodes are
was
the
built the last stadium episode.
Yeah, we got to review some new digs that some teams are getting.
Well, we will have one other in the recent future, and maybe pre-recorded and maybe just live, of another one of those stadium episodes. But my final remarks, buy a Greek salad. Greek salads are phenomenal. It's the best salad in the game. Go ahead and bet the over on Ovechkin shots every night. And with that, I think that's going to be it from us here at We Talk Sports.
Now we gotta do the jerseys.
I was about to say, I'm like, a jersey number.
Oh, fuck me. Jesus. It's been a long time. So, we're moving on to number 32. So, for
Yes.
32, I'm going to go ahead. I'll take the usual. I'll take some base.
PJ, you want to do NBA or NFL?
NBA, obviously. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go with Knicks legend and college basketball legend.
Also, in case any new viewers are here, what we do at the end of every episode is we choose a player who had the best career or that we like the most for the jersey number of the episode number. And we each pick one for our respective sport.
Yep. So typically what we do is pick the best generational talent to ever wear that number.
But what PJ does,
me being me, I pick Knicks players. So 32, we're gonna go Knicks legend and college basketball legend Jimmer Fredette.
Jimmer Fredette.
Come on.
That was a
All right,
fucking.
well,
you know it. Are any of y'all tell me that Jimmer wasn't a dog?
He went to BYU.
He's a dog.
Shout out BYU.
Okay, well, I'm going to give myself time to think of another NBA player to replace PJ, but I got to go with the biggest joke of all time to ever wear 32 in the MLB, and that is Cassandra, actual name Sanford, Sandy Koufax, the top Jew in the MLB all time, struck out mugs like it was nobody's business. Played until he was 198 years old. Won a World Series, maybe. I'm not really that familiar. I wasn't alive then.
Four-time AL Cy Young winner as well. AL or no?
I know, bud. It's the freaking Dodgers, you monkey.
Whoa!
Go with the program.
Yeah. This is how it gets sometimes, people.
Size.
This is how it gets. Listen, this is how it gets when everyone's sober for the most part.
Sandy Koufax,
if we're
dog.
getting into podcast gets, Gerald's trying to act all high and mighty, but I mean, y'all got a little taste, a little nibble on your taste buds.
Hey, the
Wait till
Mexican
we
soccer
start
team,
talking
man.
more about Mexican soccer. Gerald has some takes that will make your head spin.
All right, go ahead, Gerald, and give your NFL player.
3-time NFL MVP, Pro Football Hall of Famer, and NFL champion. Amongst some of the greatest players of all time in the league. From the Cleveland Browns, Jim Brown.
Jimbo.
You're not topping that pick, Corey, for basketball.
I
For me, it
think
goes
pretty
Jim
easy.
Brown and Jimmer Fredette up there. You got some
For
work to do.
32.
Yeah.
I don't even need to look anything up, bro. There's a little known NBA player. His name is Irvin.
Yeah.
Yep. You want to reconsider that, PJ? His name is Irvin Johnson.
Vanilla Magic, Jimmer Fredette.
Nickname. No, nobody ever called him that. That's not a nickname. Magic Johnson, the GOAT, Dodgers co-owner, survivor of HIV, hanging out in Pimpland, still
One of the
here,
greatest
Hall of Famer.
episodes ever, by the way.
One of the greatest what?
One of the greatest South Park episodes ever.
Jesus.
Oh, the Magic Johnson. Well, Magic Johnson, by the way, is in every single NBA fan's mind a top 3-point guard. You might put Steph. You might put AI if you're weird. But you're putting Magic.
Or if you're from Philly.
Magic. Or if you're from Philadelphia. Well, nobody's actually from Philadelphia. People just move there.
No. People don't move there. People end up there.
Yeah, that's facts. It's like a Columbia, Maryland of Pennsylvania. But, Magic Johnson, GOAT. I'm taking him in my 5 over any other point guard.
That's fair.
Well, with that being said, as always, this has been the We Talk Sports podcast.
We're gonna get back to business.
Yes, we are.
We're gonna get back to business. Expect at least a monthly pod.
Oh, and
That's-
also, I think we neglected a sport. Just to take it 1 second. Pretty sure that we neglected a 32 for the Bills, as a commenter has reminded me.
Man, look, he was a killer on that field, bro.
He was a killer off that field, bro.
On and off the field, certified menace.
Dude, he would stab those defenses, and like when he was on like the receiving end of the ball, those gloves were insane.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Don't even
with
let me
or
talk to
without
you.
them.
Don't even let me talk to you about what he did to the Broncos. If you want to talk about Broncos, you know that I'm talking about number 32 on the Bills. Well, that's enough reference without saying his name, so I'm just going to leave it at that and not say it. It's
thanks
what it is.
thanks for that, Norm Macdonald. Anyway,
Yeah, but as we were trying to finish, I've been Corey. This has been the We Talk Sports podcast.
Yeah.
and I've been Gerald.
And we will see you sometime soon. Take it easy, fellas.